What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news show. And it's about 2 ins and 2 outs. That sounds a bit weird, but Nico Gonzalez wants to leave, apparently. Tudor wants Kelly out, apparently. And if those two players are out, that means we can bring in Kolo Muani, finally, you might say, and Jadon Sancho. Some might say finally, because he's waiting for forever, basically. And Dortmund is, you know, hanging around basically. However, that's a story that Nico Gonzalez is willing to leave the club and the club wants him out. That Tudor wants Kelly to be sold so we can invest that money in Kolo Muani, for example, and Nico Gonzalez can be replaced by Jadon Sancho. But there's a big, big if to all of this. So before we get into it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into, I think, a plot twist when it comes to Nico Gonzalez. Okay, so the story, as you can see, Tuttosport, Nico, saying that Premier League clubs and Atalanta are interested in Nico. That's not really the breaking news. The breaking news is that the player is convinced about leaving because he wants to play consistently with a club with the World Cup around the corner. However, Komoli doesn't want to lower the demands to a point where he's gonna make a loss on the books. I need to give Komoli that because ever since he came in, it feels like the club is not just like the bare minimum, but the bare minimum is the bare minimum and nothing less than the bare minimum. In certain situations, good. In other situations, if you keep players like Kostic, bad, I might say. However, that's one part of the story. The other part of the story from Nico Shira is that if Nico is gone, the club will sign Jadon Sancho. We agree with Jadon Sancho. Agreeing with Manu for Jadon Sancho is peanuts. It's easy. However, we don't have room in the squad. Jadon Sancho is waiting, but Dortmund can guarantee him playing time. He played for Dortmund. He played well for Dortmund. So at one point, Jadon Sancho can say, I'm done waiting, guys. Thanks, but I need to think about my own career. And maybe the World Cup, if he still believes he can make it, for himself. Going back to Dortmund, old territory, familiar territory, where he played well, went back on loan, played well again in the Champions League campaign. Remember, against PSG, for example. He's waiting and waiting and waiting, but we are waiting and waiting and waiting. And Nico is waiting and waiting. Everybody's waiting and nothing is moving. It's a very strange market for us and also for many other clubs who are interested in our players, but not really making those moves. Nottingham Forest, is it Everton, is it Fulham, is it Milan? Nobody's making that decisive move. And the more days passing, the bigger the risk is that you're going to lose out on the targets you've set to replace them, or the players are just making a different decision. So that's one part of the story. You know, Nico Shira said it. Nico is from Tuttosport, wants out or he's willing to leave. Well, the club wants to move Nico out. So that's 1+1 is 2. You get sold basically if an offer comes in. But right now, no offer has come in. And obviously that, well, is a massive problem. I don't need to explain that to you. Next bit of story. Kelly out, not Cal, Kelly out to buy Kolo Muani. So according to Corriere dello Sport, again, Kelly has not impressed Tudor in preseason, which is not difficult because he's not a very good player, you know? So, shocker, I might say, and the coaching staff and Juve are open to letting him go if sustainable offers come in and there's a strong interest, and there's no, interest, basically, or a strong desire to keep him. But in this case, the same thing. Remember when I said early on, good, Komoli wants some money, doesn't want to make a loss on the books. In this case, you're going to make a loss on the book. Nobody's going to offer the money we pay for Kelly. We paid up to 20 million euros for Kelly. Nobody is offering that. If you want to move out Kelly, you're losing money. Period. If somehow you move out Kelly and you do not lose money, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I would like, even if the club puts out the statement about Kelly and says it's a financial positive impact of zero, like 1k, €1. At that point, I will be shocked. I will be stunned. Even if we make €1 positive impact on the balance sheet, moving out Kelly. So in this case, when it comes to Komoli asking the money he wants, in this case, I'm just going to be selfish. I'm like, you're going to need to take the hit. to move him out. The story is that you move out Kelly and you have some money and space to buy Kolo Muani. I don't believe you move out a defender and you're gonna buy a striker. If you move out a defender, you're also signing a defender, and also the money you're gonna get from Kelly is not the game changer to sign Kolo Muani unless it's about a roster spot and the wages off the books. That's a different topic. But when it comes to Kelly, do I think he's gonna leave? No. I don't see why. I actually need to see official papers. I need to see it before I can believe it. And who's gonna offer that money? He was a free agent. Newcastle picked him up. He was available, and no Premier League team tried to sign him in January. Like absolutely none. It's mid August, the second week of August, excuse me, and if he's high-ish on people's list, that's a word I just invented, high-ish, but you know what I mean. If let's say Everton or Fulham like Kelly that much that they believe they can improve him, then surely they would have come in much earlier than wait to the second week of August, because that's a key position. A defender you believe in that's going to make you better, you're going to make that move. Even like initial talks way early, maybe not sign him, but at least like start initial talks in July. So that's why there's no talks, there's no concrete rumors when it comes to Kelly. I refuse to believe that a Premier League club is actually coming in for Kelly and buying Kelly. That's it. So the point of the news video is that still we need to move out players, obviously, to bring in players, but the names are set. It's the same names week in, week out, day in, day out, hour in, hour out. Like it never changes, really. And it's one player leaves and it's a domino effect. Like if Nico leaves, it can be a domino effect for Jadon Sancho. And if Kelly leaves, it can be a domino effect for another defender. If Douglas Luiz signs for Nottingham Forest, you can sign another midfielder or you can sign Kolo Muani. Like it's all a domino effect. If Vlahovic leaves, Kolo Muani is done like really quickly, I'm assuming. But Milan are now looking to buy Højlund from Manu on loan because they signed Sesko. That means, well, Milan are not in for Vlahovic. And where is Vlahovic going? Well, he's going to stay because he refused every single team, Fenerbahce, Al Hilal, every single team. And those teams signed Darwin Nunez. Fenerbahce is not coming in again, I believe, with that amount of money. At one point, even Vlahovic needs to think about his career and he's messing it up. And, which is worse, he's messing up the club's plans when it comes to Kolo Muani. You're risking to keep Vlahovic, let him leave on a free, have Milik, who's still injured more than a year ago, not sign Kolo Muani, Vlahovic leaving on a free, or giving Vlahovic a new deal and being stuck with him. It's a tricky situation, but, Komoli and the guys get paid a lot of money. They're going to need to figure it out. So let's see if they're going to figure it out this week still or at the start of next week because, well, time is running out. It's just that simple. In the comments, let me know, do you think Nico Gonzalez will push for a move or ask for a move? And if so, which team is going to pay us the money so we don't make a financial loss on the books? Like the video, and I'll speak to you guys later. Ciao.